I personally take cognizance of the UN member states' goodwill, thrust for nominating Kenya to be the president of the 7th biannual meeting of state parties on the implementation of the United Nations Programme of Action to prevent, combat, and eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons in all its aspects, that will be held at the UN headquarters in New York at the end of July of this year. Kenya will be well represented by virtue of being chair of that conference. On the same note, we also are looking into the adoption of various treaties like the Arms Trade Treaty, a global instrument that regulates the international trade in conventional arms and seeks to prevent, eradicate illicit trade and diversion of conventional arms. So once again, in this regard, I do continue to emphasize to all relevant state departments and agencies to set up modalities for Kenya to accede to all treaties in this arena as they are in Kenya's national interest. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by congratulating all our worthwhile partners in arms control, and that largely is the United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs, their funding from the government of Japan, UNDP, the African Union, the Regional Center for Small Arms, amongst many other partners who have been supporting us in these activities. As a country, we appreciate the support and cooperation that we continue to receive from international as well as regional organizations in our disarmament efforts. May I also thank all our citizens, every single one of them, for their efforts in peace building through reduction of small arms and light weapons. Let me also once again, at this juncture, thank our National Police Service, and in particular, the Kenya National Focal Point on Small Arms and Light Weapons, for excellently playing their role in coordination and facilitation of various actors in this endeavor to reduce and to eventually eradicate the menace of small arms and light weapons here in Kenya. Your good work and diligent efforts are most appreciated, and I remain your solid supporter in all your endeavors. Today, we put an additional fire of freedom to secure the values that we all hold so deeply and we cherish and affirm, as we also, through the same fire, retire from circulation obsolete, state-owned small arms and light weapons that are now redundant to our nation's defense and security, but also as we destroy homemade guns that have been used to threaten the lives of our people. I am really glad to note that the majority of the illegal firearms that I'm mentioning today were voluntarily surrendered by members of the public who heeded our various amnesty programs and calls for community disarmament, and a large number of those weapons were also recovered through the diligence of our security organs who conducted security operations that yielded in these recoveries. In that regard, I want, through UIG and all other security agencies, as well as conscientious members of our public, including our religious and community leaders, for this high sense of civic duty and for the tremendous effort in this national endeavor. Our families, communities, and indeed the entire nation will be safer today because of your individual and collective acts. Attention, the task of a peaceful and secure Kenya is a responsibility of each and every Kenyan. And I urge you all in your own roles and space to make a conscientious effort to make our country, our republic, more safe and more secure and 100% free of illegal weapons. As I conclude, I would just like to say 3 points. One, I do believe that our push towards a 100% transition is something, especially in our education, from primary to secondary, is something that will yield positive results, so that through education, our people can abandon some of our negative cultural habits and adopt and be able to engage each other, first and foremost to protect the positive aspects of our respective cultures, but also to be able to tool our young men especially with the necessary skills to be able to become. As we say, we are grateful for the progress made. It is, however, important to point out that notwithstanding successes made that have given rise to even today's event, we must always recognize that the fight is not yet won. The Eastern African region remains awash with illegal small arms and light weapons, some of which are likely to continue to find their way into our country. We need to collect all illegal weapons in Kenya and across the region in order to rebuild real peace in our communities. And I therefore call upon all our citizens who may in any way and for whatever reason be in possession of illegal firearms to submit the weapons to our authorities under the cover of the amnesty for illegal possession of firearms. An illegal gun makes you less safe, not more safe. An illegal gun, no matter how good your intentions, makes you a criminal and liable to face the full force of the law. If you have any security concerns, please let us work together. Your recourse is to engage the government, not to confront it. And we, is my promise, shall respond and address your needs. Indeed, when my administration came into office, our nation was in the grips of carjacking, runaway banditry, and other violent crimes. Since then, we have achieved a year-on-year sustained reduction in every category of violent crime. There is no longer any excuse for you to have an illegal gun or to take the law into your own hands. I call on all Kenyans to let the authorities know about any information you have of weapons in our communities, and such small efforts, I do believe, will bring peaceful days to you and your children, your grandchildren, and indeed to all our futures. In the same vein, I also direct that all state agencies who are custodians of state firearms to ensure that they too observe strict accountability, proper management, and control of the arms under their charge in order to safeguard against pilferage, diversion, and also misuse. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya has always advocated for the adoption of strong and universal normative frameworks in arms control. We will continue to support the implementation of international, regional, as well as national instruments that disarm and decelerate this agenda. Because of your individual and collective sacrifices, the lives that would have been lost to armed attacks are saved. And this, I say, because statistics have revealed that small arms and light weapons claim more than 500,000 lives worldwide each year, and over 80% of these are women and children. Ladies and gentlemen, the administration's commitment to secure the lives of Kenyans as required by our Constitution has emboldened our resolve to fight against the proliferation of illicit arms, and we continue to affirm the importance of this issue through our various regional, continental, global, and global diplomatic channels. By publicly destroying illicit weapons, Kenya once again openly demonstrates that we are determined and ready to face the challenges posed by small arms and light weapons. Kenya's recovery of illicit small arms and light weapons is in tandem with the African Union's call for silencing the guns in Africa by the year 2020. Although this AU target has not been fully achieved by the deadline that we set for ourselves, individual countries, including our own Kenya, have made excellent progress towards that.